Well, good afternoon and welcome. It's certainly good to have everybody here today. I certainly appreciate it. Normally, I've spent the last 4 years as your mayor trying to be the biggest cheerleader for this town. You've seen me do it time and time again, talking about things like our rock-solid financials, record construction rates, plenty of good jobs that are available in the town, this high quality of life that we enjoy so much. This downtown Sioux Falls, it's never been more vibrant and certainly recognized as one of the safest communities in all of America. We also talk about this crown jewel of our town, our park system. I mean, 78 parks that we're just so truly proud of. In our town, we want a public park within a half mile of every home in our city. We talk about this river greenway system that we have, Falls Park, which is our city's namesake, the bike trail system, and so much more. Sioux Falls, as your mayor today, I'm going to talk to you about a situation in Sioux Falls that has truly become a source of embarrassment, truly is a public safety concern, and one where the proud citizens of this town, they're truly fed up with. I'm going to do my best over the next couple of minutes to try to give you what I believe is a true inside look or an inside view of what's going on at Van Eps Park. Some of what I'm going to divulge to you today is going to make you feel very uncomfortable. In fact, there's a chance some of my comments may actually make you feel a little bit queasy. There's a very, very good chance it's going to make you sad. And I don't doubt that when I'm all done, many of you are going to be very, very mad. I visit Van Eps Park quite often. In fact, I visit more than my police team would like me to visit. I go there on my own. I don't have any police protection around me. I don't call ahead of time so that people can watch me as I'm going in there. As the mayor of this town, I've truly tried to engage the people that I serve. That's everybody, including the people at Van Eps Park. I truly like to get my hands dirty when it comes to, trying to deal with the issues of this town or try to, identify the potential opportunities of this city as well. I wanted to get to know the folks there. I wanted to get to know the situation there. What were people doing? Why this park? What's going on there? One of the, kind of interesting, one of the very first visits I had, I met a lot of the good folks there and truly engaged them, and they were surprised, and we had really, really good dialogue. And I came back the next morning, and I was hoping to find out, what were some of the contents within the garbage cans at Van Eps Park. I got there that next morning, and guess what? Everything was spotless, clean as a whistle. Our parks team had just done a great job, as they do with all the other parks, really, taking it to a proud level, something that we care about. But the next day, I did ask the parks team to kind of give me an inventory of what they found as they emptied the trash cans. Wasn't a scientific thing, but basically I was told the next day, well, Mayor, here's what we found. Half of the contents are made up of beer cans, some pretty high alcohol beer cans, and then the other half is really fast food wrappers, neither of which are illegal. Really no issue there. Other than it just kind of gave you an early indication of kind of what's going on at Van Eps. Started to work with the patrons more and more there, trying to have them be part of the solution. And that is truly the way that I like to engage people. I get so much credit for all the good things going on in this town. But truly, I think the way that I've been successful over the years, or that the town has been successful over the years, is because we work together to make these things happen for this town. And I truly wanted to work with the people at Van Eps as well to address this issue. And so we talked about some things. Well, what could we do to make it a better park? And so we talked about more picnic tables, which we brought in. Ultimately, we had to put some chains around those picnic tables so that they didn't get all put in one group or one area. But we brought in more picnic tables. We brought in some porta potties. We improved the parking lots. We worked with the county, thank goodness, and put up a brand spanking new fence. But we were working together to make some better things happen for Van Eps Park. One of the things that that I learned, and of course, I'm not naive too. I drink plenty of beers in my lifetime, and I drink beer today, and I really enjoy it. One of the things that I've learned is that the more and more beer that I drink, or the more alcohol that someone consumes, eventually what's going to happen? They're going to have to go to the bathroom. Well, of course, that was happening at Van Eps Park too. What was happening is that folks, as they were drinking too much, they were either going to the public library, they were going to local establishments, or as Commissioner Barth knows, in some cases, they were actually just relieving themselves outside. So the right thing to do, in my mind, with the help of Don and others, is, we wanted to bring some porta potties in. And we did. And my goodness, it made a great difference. It helped some of the issues that we had with the library. It helped some of the issues that we have with the local establishments. But you know what? It also helped the patrons at Van Eps Park. It did. We didn't put our heads in the sand. We knew that people were going to drink. We knew that this issue wasn't going to be solved by just putting in some porta potties. We knew that it was a more humane thing to do, and so that's what we did. But then got a call from the folks that put in the porta potties for us, and they said, Don, Mayor, normally we replace the hand sanitizer within our porta potties, maybe once a month, at the most maybe a couple of times a month. And what we're finding at Van Eps Park is that we have to replace the hand sanitizer every day. People at Van Eps Park, some of them, weren't using it to sanitize their hands. They were drinking it. We told the folks at the porta potty business to quit putting in hand sanitizer at the porta potties at Van Eps Park. I went back many times, and we talked about all kinds of issues, but I wanted to give you some insight into just last week. I went back and talked about all kinds of different topics, and of course, one of the topics that came up again was the porta potties. And it was, hey, Mayor, is there any chance that you could clean out the porta potties even more? And I'm going, hey, come on, guys. We're cleaning the porta potties every day now. And they're going, yeah, Mayor, we know that, but we need to help, explain something to you. I said, okay. Well, Mayor, what happens is that some of the patrons that come to Van Eps, they don't eat anything all day. And what they do is they drink to an excessive level, And then what happens, Mayor, is that you can't control your bodily functions. And so instead of going to the bathroom in the urinal, you go to the bathroom all over the urinal. And so, Mayor, we'd really like you to clean those porta potties even more, if you wouldn't mind. Came back and I said, Don, no matter what the cost, we've got to clean those porta potties more. We've got to go in there and we've got to power wash those porta potties even more. And Lacey's, the great company that we're working with, they came back and they said, Mayor, no problem. We're already doing it already. But Mike from Lacey's, he said, Mayor, he goes, we're going to keep doing it, but can we ask you a favor? Can you put up a sign that says something like, hey, please keep all cans and all other items out of the tanks inside the units, and also do not defecate on the urinals. It's sad, but it's true. We now have signs on the porta potties at Van Eps Park that ask people not to defecate on the urinals. We have intimidation issues at the park, as you folks know. I mean, my goodness, we got these county employees that are busting their butts every day, and they were concerned for their safety. They were concerned for their property. They wanted some protection. And so ultimately, they were willing to pay for a fence between our city park and their county property. But we said, hey, would you mind if we do it? And they were respectful enough to allow us to put up the fence. And it's helped. It's not perfect, but it's helped. And surprisingly enough, a number of folks that are at the park, they also concur that it's helped. They actually like the fence as well. A number of the park patrons that used to be there or truly want to be there because it's a social gathering place for families, for friends, for people of the town, they want their old park back. Or at least they want it safe. And now there's a number of folks there who they used to come in May, they used to even come in June. Now they won't go there anymore. They won't go there anymore. It's not safe for them, it's not safe for their kids, it's not safe for their family members. They want their park back. We've had so many people talk about walking by Van Eps Park or walking in the Van Eps Park area. I mean, if you're in Pettigrew Heights, if you're in the Cathedral area, if you're in the downtown Sioux Falls area, if you're near City Hall or the library, or yes, right by the county administration building or our own Sioux Falls' finest police station, the stories of intimidation are real and they happen all the time. How many times have you heard people jaywalking across Minnesota and all of a sudden somebody honks and somebody slams on a car, on a hood, on a trunk of a car? Hey, what are you doing? I'm walking here. The stories that I've heard from people going, I can't believe this is happening in our town. But it's happening. Fights. Oh my gosh. This is easily the most dangerous place in all of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Van Eps Park. Our crown jewel. Our park system. The most dangerous location in all of Sioux Falls is in a city park. Let me give you some perspective. 75% of the calls are officer initiated. I mean, we're trying to keep the citizens of Sioux Falls safe. We're trying to keep the patrons of Van Eps Park safe. We're doing everything that we can truly to try to keep these people safe. And we almost have a full-time presence at that park. But no matter what we do, disorderly conduct calls are huge. Nothing comes close to it. Nothing in our town comes close to it. If you look at some of the bars in our town that have the highest level of calls to it, well, in the month of June alone, Van Eps Park had 228 calls, and over 100 of them were disorderly conduct. We don't have a bar anything close to that. Intoxicated subject, liquor law violations, man down at Van Eps Park. Oh, just yesterday. Not even noon in the city of Sioux Falls. Not even noon. It was Sunday. The release reads, aggravated assault at Van Eps Park. At 11:52, officers were dispatched to 300 North Minnesota Avenue, Van Eps Park, for an assault. Officers arrived and discovered a victim with a cut to his neck and a second victim with cuts to his legs. Both victims were transported to the hospital. The victim with the neck injury was considered serious but non-life-threatening and was taken into surgery. The victim with the leg injury received numerous stitches. Drinking's become a huge issue at Van Eps Park. Once the word got out that this was a party destination, oh boy, did things change. Remember what I told you when I first went and met with the people at Van Eps Park? Remember that? Remember how we did the informal study about what we were going to find at Van Eps Park in the trash cans? Remember when I told you about that? And yeah, we had the 40s, and we had, the high contact malt liquors, and we had the beers, and we had the fast food wrappers. Remember when I told you that? Well, guess what we found on Wednesday and Thursday? This is the new Van Eps Park container contents. Come a long way, Sioux Falls. Come a long way, Van Eps Park. Police team needs some help too. Spent an entire campaign talking about how safe this city is and how safe we're going to maintain it and how important it was to maintain the number one factor in a quality of life for a citizen of Sioux Falls is how safe they feel. We hire the best to do that for us, the men and women of the Sioux Falls police team, and oh my goodness, they are spending so much time, so much effort at Van Eps Park, but there's got to be a better use of their resources than to dedicate all these men and women, all these resources to one small park for virtually the entire summer of 2014 in the city of Sioux Falls. You know what? Banning alcohol in Sioux Falls parks, it's not new, and it's very, very effective, and it's been proven that it works for over the years. River Greenway, Lion, Heritage, Faywick, Falls Park, all great examples of where the ban has improved the ability of folks to enjoy the parks as well as improve the safety for the patrons of those parks. And now for the people who are getting ready to scrutinize the mayor because he doesn't understand what those folks are going through. Let me give you a little insight, Sioux Falls. Let me give you a little insight into the critics who've challenged the mayor about his lack of insight for the people that are at that park. My dad was an alcoholic most of his adult life. My mom was the head nurse at the state hospital. Now we call it the Human Services Center. For over 30 years of her life, trying to help alcoholics, drug abusers, people with mental health issues, people that everyone else was throwing to the side, my mom taught me how important those people were and how we can't just push them aside or hide them or move the problem elsewhere. I'm not an expert, but I do know the challenges of addiction and how there are no quick fixes and how you just can't hide it. We have alcoholics, we have drug abusers, we have mental issues, we have homeless people at Van Eps Park. I'm not an expert, but I will tell you in my own family and at my mom's work at the state hospital and at organizations that deal with people that have these challenges in their life, I'll tell you one thing, there's one thing that is very, very important. You have to set limits on the behavior of these people that are challenged with these issues. You have to set limits. We are going to reinforce in Sioux Falls and in South Dakota what we deem as acceptable behavior. And we should. We're going to hold people accountable for their actions. And we should. My mom did it. My family did it. And it works. It's not perfect. It takes time. But eventually you have to hold people accountable. You have to set standards. You have to have limits on what is acceptable within your family, within your business, within your organization, within your city. And yes, what happens at Van Eps and Towers Park. We need to get folks to understand that this is a city where we have high expectations. And this is a city that has an extraordinary level of pride. There are programs that we'll continue to support to help people that have these challenges. There's so many that we're blessed by in this town, and we'll continue to help serve or help work with them so that they can serve these folks. We're not going to solve homelessness. We're not going to solve alcoholism. We're not going to solve drug abuse. We're not going to solve people making bad decisions. But we are going to get Van Eps and Tower Park to a level that where we can, if we make this ban happen, it will make an immediate difference. And it will at least bring 2 more parks up to a standard that we believe we can be proud of again. And truly show folks that in the city of Sioux Falls, we're not going to tolerate this level of drunken behavior in our town. I have a real good pulse for the people of this city. It's one of the things that I've truly been blessed by, and it's one of the reasons I really enjoy this job. I have a really good pulse on this town. I think I really have a good pulse and understanding what the people of Sioux Falls want, and I'll tell you, I don't think I've ever encountered another topic in this city since I've been the mayor where there is this level of support for something. The people of Sioux Falls, they don't want this anymore happening at Van Eps and Towers Park. They don't want it. They don't want to tolerate it. I'll tell you, the mayor has been clear. The chief of police has been clear. Don Kearney and the Parks Board has been clear. And I will tell the City Council, the people of Sioux Falls are incredibly clear. It is high time we ended this, and I hope the City Council will agree. It's time to ban alcohol at Van Eps and Tower Park.